Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Cindy Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff.
And this week, well, it's been quite a day for us. You might have noticed at the end of our last episode, if you are a YouTube person, you're gleaning things all the time, okay? You're gleaning things. If you're watching us, you're going to learn things. You're going to see things.
You're going to
might have
know
noticed that
things.
we were suddenly in a different outfit at the end of the episode when we described what movie we were going to do next.
Maybe the lighting is different, the time of day. Perhaps you're picking up context clues.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, their hair looks really different this time around, and like they're wearing different outfits, and it's the same as what they're wearing right now for this next episode.
Bowmans anymore.
Which is like wild.
Yeah, Chelsea has become a pink-haired woman again. What's happening? And where's Adam? But that is because we were going to do Undertone today, and then we are recording this the day after Mother's Day. And you know about mommy issues, right? It's mommy issues, May the Redux. That's what I'm calling it, by the way, and I'm really set on that. And I watched it this morning, and I was like, this is hitting the mommy issues in a way where I don't want to talk about it for 2 hours later today. So we switched.
I'm not having a good time, actually.
I was like,
give me a few more months. Yeah.
I was like, I cried a lot yesterday. I don't need to do this today. It's raw. It's too real. If you are having a mommy issues time too, Undertone might fuck you right up. So watch yourself. But we decided to do a pivot that was very, very, very big compared to Undertone.
I don't know. I think they've got similar themes.
The mommy issues theme is still very prevalent. It's very strong, and that is what was most important. And also, it's a new movie, and so Chelsea can say her little
in the voice.
I'm not gonna say it.
No, you do it. You've got it.
We do some movies from this year. I don't know what you say. I black out every time you say it. Whatever.
Me too,
it doesn't
girl.
matter.
That's why you asked me to do it a minute ago, and I was like, I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Exactly, but it's your bit.
We cover some new releases in 2026.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something like that.
This is checking all those boxes, and it's a beautiful film called Primate.
Yay!
Yay! So we thought we were gonna do lo-fi atmospheric horror. Actually, we're doing some visceral fucking shit today. And here is the IMDb logline for you. A group of friends' tropical vacation turns into a terrifying primal tale of horror and survival. And I think that's wonderfully vague. And I like when they don't have 4 sentences telling you the whole plot or giving everything away.
Yeah.
This
Interesting
doesn't
that
even
it is
say
vague,
the
though.
word primate or chimpanzee or monkey pet. None of that is in there. That maybe someone wouldn't have known a monkey is not the same thing as a chimpanzee, which I know. I won't mess up ever
We
again
all
the
know
whole
that.
rest of the episode.
Yeah,
I was
we all know
berated
that.
earlier.
And I'll just remind everybody in case that they don't know the difference between a monkey and an ape. But monkeys have tails, so pretty immediate visual signifier.
And now you know.
And now you know.
In case you forgot from Planet of the April last year,
Where monkey was an inappropriate word to use to describe
It was
an
a slur.
offensive word to use to describe
It was a
them.
slur.
It was a slur. It was a slur. So yeah, what we're actually doing today is Planet of the Mapril Redux 2.
Planet of the Mapril. I'm on board with that.
Here you go. It's happening. We're doing it all.
Planet of the Mommy Issues Mapril. Title of the episode.
Honestly, really, again, another marketable name for us.
We're really good at marketing, guys, in case you
The
didn't
hashtag
know.
is long, and that
People
is
are
good that
coming
the
to us
hashtag's long.
For consultations.
They are. But yeah, anyway, if you were listening to if you're a patron, you've seen some of our trailer reactions. We did a trailer reaction for Primate back in the day.
100,000 years ago, it feels
100,000 years
like.
ago, because this movie came out in January. So the trailer came out like, I don't know, November, something like that. And it was a January movie. And you know what I think about January movies. I'm like, it's a dumpster. That January is a dumpster. And they dump shit into the dumpster in January. And Chelsea doesn't agree. And Sydney is ambivalent, I think. But
Yeah.
maybe she feels passionately as well.
I
But I
don't.
think about it
I'm
all the
not
time. And I'm
passionate
like,
about January movies. Sometimes they're okay. Like, they're not great, but they're fine.
but sometimes they're whatever. Sometimes they're really bad. Sometimes they're whatever, make me go crazy, i.e. presents and what was it? Magical water? What was the one with the baseball, man?
Night
Not
Swim.
Night Swim. Magical water.
Magical. I was like, old? The
What
beach
could that
movie?
possibly mean?
Old?
We should do old
Oh,
sometime.
when are we doing old on the pod?
July.
Yeah, that's a summer movie for sure.
Okay, it's happening. You heard it here first. Old's happening on the pod this summer.
I'm putting it on the schedule under vague July movie ideas.
Big
Love
July
that.
movies ideas. But yeah, I was talking big mad shit about this movie because it looked fucking ridiculous. And I would like to say right now that I'm sorry, because I think this movie actually fucks heavy. In a very specific way, where it's not like it's an Oscar award winning film, but it's serving in a million different ways, and it has no holds barred. And truly, I was shocked again and again. And I screamed bloody murder many, many times when I saw this in the theater. And it has great representation for the deaf community, which was an unexpected twist.
Exactly.
So, yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, it's interesting. You were saying the IMDb logline is so vague, which is true and interesting to me because the trailers for this movie, I think, made it very clear what kind of movie it was. There were some surprises in the sense that like didn't expect the deaf representation. And what I really didn't expect that it shows you 5 minutes in is how gory it is. I really thought it was gonna like hold back on that or not be as much as it was.
It's so gory. I listened to a couple of interviews with the director Johannes Roberts, and then like myriad of different people from the cast. And as far as the gore goes, they just like did. Okay, first things first. This whole movie shot in England.
Yeah, England and Portugal for the
Yeah. Oh,
outside scenes of the coast and such.
Oh, okay, okay. I was wondering how they did that. They just like made sets to make it look like that. It's supposed to be in Hawaii. Johannes was really thinking that it would be in Hawaii. That's why he said it in Hawaii. So he thought maybe he'd get to hang out in Hawaii
And
for
it's a
2
good
months.
try. It's a really good try.
And he didn't get that. And it seems like there was like some tumultuous shit going on with the production a little bit, because he said something about it, how it like changed hands a few times or something. But he was like, yeah, like I feel like they just kind of, the studio kind of like forgot about us. And so we just started making it like gorier and gorier. Like he did not set out trying to make it this gory. But he's like, we had the room and the budget. We just made it gorier and gorier, and no one was saying anything. We weren't getting any blowback. And we're like, okay, let's fucking go. Because this shit is nasty.
Yeah. I will say, I think they were very strategic about some of it. Like one of the goriest scenes happens in red lighting to sort of disguise it, I think, how bloody it would be. So I think that that is a smart choice. If you are worried about your violence being censored, you're like, I'm gonna give it to you, you're gonna see it, but we're just gonna like do a little camouflage in that way so that, you know, they're not sending up warning signs or anything. But you do, there's a good amount that you do see. There are a couple things where they're like totally skimmed over, but there's a good amount you do see.
Yeah. There's the opening thing where the fucking vet guy's face just gets ripped, fully peeled
It's
off. It's so gnar. It was awesome. See, okay, like explain to me why I love that. And then I guess it is just tonally different. But then it's like also super gory in The Mummy. And that is not for me, like it's just the tone, the intent behind it.
Yeah.
And the grayscale. There's a lot of grayscale in the Mummy too.
And I feel
Lee
like
Cronin's
this,
the Mummy. Sorry, just to clarify.
just to be super clear in case anybody
Yeah.
was concerned. This movie though, I think it is the gore is different in the sense that in that movie it felt like they were being like, what is gonna gross you out the most and or offend your sensibilities, your precious sensibilities,
but in an Irish accent.
And then in this movie it's like, well, animal attacks are violent, and so we're just gonna give it to you what that might mean, what that would look like.
And also,
I mean,
I didn't historically known for ripping faces off. There's documented evidence of this.
We've seen the movie.
Wondering about that. Yeah, because
I didn't research chimp behavior, but I believe
I've heard horror stories where like they can go fucking. I guess I shouldn't say ape shit, chimp shit,
or you should
monkey shit. Haha, to do a slur.
Wow,
Monica does slur canceled.
I said a slur on the pod. The only slur I'm ever allowed to say
on the pod.
Actually, we get to say the F slur all the time, but it doesn't feel appropriate right now. So I won't. I'll abstain.
Say it. Say it right now.
I want to say it when I mean it. I'll say it when I mean it.
When she means it. My God.
But yeah, no, chimps are fucking. They can go really crazy. I'll look that up in a second. We can go into it a little bit more. But like also, they did not go into this movie like the way it was written with the father being this big of a role. And he started to become more of a bigger role. And then they reached out to Troy Kotzer, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly, but he is in Coda. Mm-hmm. Y'all see Coda? I never saw Coda.
I haven't seen it.
But Marley Matlin is in Switched at Birth, a TV show with excellent deaf representation that I love.
Yeah. So they like adjusted. One of the parts of the interviews that I listened to was with Troy, and he was saying that like they just made some like slight adjustments to the script. It didn't have to be like so crazy to make it make sense, except for the fact that the cast members had to learn sign language. Which is awesome that they did that. And then apparently Troy was like really helpful to the main character, Lucy, played by Johnny Sequoia.
Isn't that the craziest, coolest name?
Yeah, that is a great name. God, I already thought she rocked. That's the hottest, coolest name ever. Good for you, Johnny. 10 out of 10.
I love the name Johnny for a girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's someone that I work with who has that name as a girl named Johnny, and I'm like, you have swag beyond your wildest dreams. But yeah, so that was cool. They like Troy was like helping Johnny learn that on set. And
IMDb trivia said his wife was also like their American Sign Language consultant on set too.
Yes.
Deanna Bray, I want to say off the top of my head, but let me fact check that.
That's so cool.
Oh my God, Deanne Bray. I was very close.
So close.
Well, I think it was cool to have that be an aspect of the movie and it not be like the whole focus of the movie and the whole horror of the movie, but adding to the horror of the movie in parts, because there are some really cool like sensory deprivation moments in the movie where like you would be in Troy. I guess his character's name is Adam, also known as Dad perspective.
Dadum
perspective. And he can't have that name. That's my Adam's name.
Yeah.
Adam is called Dadum. Mamaka and Dadum. That's my group chat with Alex. That's the name of our group chat with Alex, is that.
I actively call y'all that all the time. Like,
yeah, it's fair.
My children will call you that at all. And instead of Aunt Monica, it's going to be, oh yeah, that's Monica.
That's Monica.
I know. It's one of the big pluses for me having a child, because I would love to be called Monica. I think that'd be very comical. I would make them call me that instead of Mom.
Monica!
Don't call me that. Well, I don't remember what I was saying before that. Oh yeah. When you're in the dad's perspective, it would just be silent for a second. And that was so effective in that like end crazy scene or whatever. I don't want to jump through that, but it was a cool thing to add into it. Like when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, my God, they're doing everything at once here. But also like I think it's better, like not that what's the horror movie where there's a deaf person and like that's the whole thing? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I want to say Hush.
Yes. I've never seen Hush. Have you guys seen Hush?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so I can't super speak to it, but I don't think people like or I don't know.
Well,
I
also
feel like
she's
the
not the
whole
actress Kate
horror.
Siegel is not
Yeah.
really
Oh, is
deaf.
that Mike
So
Flanagan's wife?
yeah.
Yeah.
Love her. Yeah, she's not actually deaf. And then the whole thing is that she's deaf and like I don't know. I'm sure she uses it to her advantage at some point in the movie too, but like it's like she's being preyed upon because of that and that's like the whole premise of the movie, which you see like that's kind of like a weirder
Yeah.
vibe. It's not a
It's
great
more
vibe.
interesting to just be like, this is part of our world. And so sometimes this is what a family is going to look like. There are times when it is like a specific part of the premise of a movie that I think works really well, like in A Quiet Place, where it makes sense that it's like this was a normal family, but having this additional language to communicate in using sign language gives them an advantage in this post-apocalyptic world where they don't have to use their voices to
We could do that
communicate
on
with
the
each
pod
other.
too.
They still have to be quiet in whatever other ways that are hard. They have advantages and disadvantages because you can hear things or you can't hear things. But that I think is really an interesting way to spotlight it. And then there are other movies that it just feels like, okay, I see what you're going for, but like, did you stick the landing? Did it feel like good, positive, healthy representation? Are people glad about it? Or are people just like, okay, it's a gimmick?
Yeah, this didn't feel that gimmicky to me. I don't know. If you disagree, that's fair. But I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Well, I think it lends authenticity that you said his name is Johannes, not Johannes. I don't know. I didn't watch anything
I
where he
don't
says
know.
his
I
name.
just said I didn't. I have no idea. And if I'm
No
saying
one's.
it wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Either it might just. It could be Johannes.
It could be Johannes. It's probably that. I don't know.
The director said that he saw Coda and he saw Troy Kotzer in Coda, and that's when he started to be like, "Ooh, I like this guy. I like his acting. Let me tweak some things."
Yeah,
And so I
so
think
cool.
when
Yeah,
it's
because
like
they reached
written,
out to them.
yeah, when you're writing specifically for a member of that community, I don't know, it kind of, this is such a silly comparison. It kind of reminds me of Double Double Toil and Trouble, where we talked about how there was like very great little person representation in that movie, and then like really complicated, not necessarily positive at all representation for unhoused people in that movie, where it's like you
Oh yeah,
have a
God, I forgot about
actor
that
playing a
movie.
character that is not their experience versus you have an actor playing a character that is their experience, and therefore you have like a built-in advocate as well on set. It just lands differently.
No, I totally agree with you there. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, this movie had so many unexpected things for me, but also like I don't know. I like we must have talked about this like leading in the trailer reaction and leading up to seeing it in theaters when we went, Chelsea. But this director is our favorite director. He did 47 meters down.
I was about to say
47 meters down uncaged.
I was about to guess exactly that because I was like, his name sounds so familiar.
Yeah. No, I mean, I fucking love those movies. They have brilliant twists to them, especially 47 meters down. Uncaged has a whole other thing that it's bringing to the table. Okay. But like, I like this guy. I actually do. And he also did, okay, he did one of the VHS things in VHS 99. And if I recall correctly, I'm going to fact check myself right now. I think 99 was the one that I was like, this is the one for the girls. And I've been wanting us to do it on the pod because I was like, oh, there's a VHS and it's VHS for the girlies. And I think it's 99. Did you know that they made one that's like, actually, it's a cutesy one? Not necessarily, but there's just a couple of them where I was like, oh, y'all would fucking love this. And then I'm looking at pictures right now, and there's definitely one that you guys would really not like. So, it's kind of, that's
So
how
don't do that
VHS is.
one.
That's how VHS is. But the one that he did was called Suicide Bid. And if I'm remembering correctly, that shit went fucking crazy. I think that's the girly popest one. And if we know anything about him, he loves girly pops. There are
Yeah.
girly pops in this movie too. What is
We did a
Uncaged? It's not
Strangers
girly
movie.
pop palooza.
True.
Strangers?
I did think about that a little bit when they were having their pool, like splashing, flirting, playing around scene. It made me think about the watering hole scene in 47 Meters Down Uncaged, where it's like everybody gets a little moment with each other.
Everybody gets to do a little splish splash. So yeah, I like him. I like him. You can see that I had a great time. I'm sorry, I'm being so obvious right away, but I can't hold it back. But just
I
to
think his name is
establish,
Johannes, by the way. I'm trying to
it's
Google.
probably Johannes.
That's what Google is
I with
suggesting
my
to me,
full
but I'm not
chest,
seeing a
I
video.
said Johannes.
I think it is beautiful that on this podcast we try to sound out words that are unfamiliar to us, and we do our best. And then we also try to be
I'm honestly
respectful.
I'm
Sometimes
familiar.
we just need a moment to be like, "Oh, this is
We've got to
accessible
process
information."
things, you know?
I'm familiar with that name, and I have said Johannes many a times
I
before.
feel
But
like
today,
there's someone out there named Johannes.
Yeah,
Maybe not
and
this
it's
guy.
not this guy though. Anyway, let's talk about the mommy issues part of it because it's not that big of a part of it, but we just got to get it out of the way so we can justify while we're doing this. The mom is dead. Okay, she died.
The daughter has been away from home for a year. She can't handle things.
Okay, the mom died from cancer. She had a long bout with cancer. She was a linguist, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was doing study with chimpanzees to be like, we could talk to chimpanzees. I did it. Look, it's just like those dogs you see on the internet and they press the buttons and it's like food.
Bunny the dog,
Like
who
Bunny the
had
dog.
to go
Scary,
on
terrifying.
like Prozac because like they
She
had to
had
put
too
this
much
dog.
access to the world of human knowledge.
Yes, and they literally had to put this dog on Prozac.
Not that some dogs don't just need Prozac, but
Wow. Well, that's.
but I think it did fuck her up.
Well, look
Yeah.
what happened. Look what happened to our little chimpanzee here. Oh my god, what's his name?
What do you think is going to happen
Ben.
when you give
Ben.
a dog a communication board and one of the buttons is depressed? They're going to go bunny depressed.
Yeah, death. If mom,
Bunny sad. Bunny
the worst
sad.
thing
Bunny
it was
feel
like,
nothing.
if mom human, why bunny dog? And I was like, oh my god.
It's a really
Wow.
good question,
Now
Bunny.
she's getting into like parentage and stuff. That oh my
now
god,
it's
Bunny.
like, wait, mom not real
Well-
biological mom?
Right?
Mom not bunny biological mom? Crazy that they put biological on there as one of the words.
Crazy. Well, Bunny aside, Ben is the chimpanzee, and he's also gone through a big loss, but you know, nobody's talking about that because unnamed mommy was his mommy too. But anyway, they just established it really early. Like, that's why there's a chimpanzee here. It makes sense. Don't ask any fucking questions.
Yeah.
It's fine. We love him like our brother because we've grown up with him. And chimps are very like humans, but they have that rage in them.
Yeah,
provoked.
I think it is interesting for this movie to be part of our Mommy Issues May the Redux lineup because it really is there, but they present it more as part of the premise rather than like an emotional driving factor of the film. That said, I think it is there in the character experience. It just does not fully like make it onto the screen in a more tangible way, but it's like their mom died recently. This chimp was part of their mom's like work and life and is like one of the tangible things that they have
Well,
left that connects
yeah.
them to their mother.
Totally. That's huge. I took custody of my mom's dog after she passed away, like during the pandemic. And so, like, when he passed away because he was old as fuck, that was like grieving her all over again because that felt like the one last piece of him. And so, Ben is like this last piece of their mom who, like, is who he is because of their mom, taught him to speak, brought him to the family, you know? And now to see, like, you know, she was excited to come home. She hasn't come home. Lucy's the main character girl hadn't been home in a really long time because she's been processing her grief by running away from her family because like and trying to forget everything, which you know that's part of some people's process.
Bitch.
Yeah. And so like I think they do a good job of showing how broken the family is at the beginning. It's not like maybe it could have been a little bit more overt, but like the dad is like obviously hustling now that they're like a one income family or whatever. I'm sure they have medical debt. He's like very worried about like getting his next book deal. Um and then the sister's fucking pissed off. So he's like aloof and off doing his own thing. And they're like, oh, he's always gone now. And then the sister, the younger sister, whose name is Erin, um, she is, feeling so neglected because her sister like went away to college and she's been all alone in the house where they used to live with the mom. And so she's pissed off at her sister. So there's like a lot of emotional stuff going on, but there are so many other characters that I feel like that core thing kind of like gets lost in the sauce because there's too many other people that I'm shipping everyone with, so I get confused.
Yeah, there's also just not a lot of like drawn out conversation at any point about anything.
Mhm.
And
They
they
talk for like 5 minutes and then they're just like death, death, death.
Yeah.
death, death.
And they pretty quickly accept like Ben is not Ben anymore. So there are like these moments where they kind of come back to it of like, could Ben be saved? Is Ben still in there? Can we still connect with Ben? And therefore through Ben, our mother. But it's like so early on they accept that the sibling that they had in Ben is probably already gone, and that's going to be something to be grieved later. And right now they're dealing with a
Let's try
wild
not to die.
animal.
Yeah.
But it's I think a part of the larger premise of the movie too, in ways that exist but aren't like
Ooh.
acknowledged within the script necessarily, in the sense that the mom was the one who was the researcher who worked with Ben in that capacity. And so it's like the mom was the one who probably had the animal behavior expertise, or who would know what to be looking out for if something was going wrong with Ben, who would know the general procedure of what to do next if something was going on, who to call, like just how to handle a situation like this. That's probably something that she would be more prepared for than the rest of her family, who kind of just view Ben as a family member as opposed to a wild animal that, yes, is to whatever degree domesticated. I also think it comes in with the dad in the sense that, like, yes, he's hustling now to provide for his family as a single parent income. I also think it's possible, because the mom's death is like in the last year, pretty recent, that he's still just kind of like going about his business in the way that he was before. And he hasn't necessarily reckoned meaningfully with the fact that if I'm still going on business trips, if I'm still going out doing long meetings over long weekends for my books, for my movies, there isn't another parent at home with my daughters. Like, now they're alone. There isn't someone else there who is watching them, who they can call an emergency. And I was left alone sometimes as a 14-year-old. I had an older brother. It's not like the craziest age to be left alone by yourself for. I think maybe with a sick chimp, it's like a little bit different. But generally speaking, I think that is part of their like order of operations here, is that he is not always meaningfully realizing that when he's not there, the same way that he has often not been there, there's now no one to fill that gap.
No, totally. Okay, remember before we started recording, I was like, Chelsea, you're gonna eat your fucking words, because she was saying like there's not like we're not gonna have that much crazy shit to say about this movie. I was like, we're gonna eat your fucking words because I'm gonna have something crazy to say. I thought of something crazy to say.
Okay.
Say it, Queen. Live your truth.
Ben himself is sort of like the like physical manifestation of like grief for these characters, because he's like this like thing that is their mom in a lot of ways, and like shows what their mother was and what she could do. Like she could bring this amazing thing, but then also like something changed. Like like when you're grieving, like you have this like somebody, you lose them, and then it can just set off like an atomic bomb in your life and how you behave. And so he's like the most like primal part of your grief, like the breakdown, like the drunk breakdown at the music festival that I had after my mom died, like just pure feral anguish. And they're literally fighting that grief monster like throughout the whole movie. And I didn't say that super well, but I think there's something there.
He, as a tool of communication, both represents how the family can be brought together. Like in this scene where Lucy first comes home and goes to Aaron's room, and Aaron doesn't want to talk and only uses the communication board to be like, Lucy bad.
Lucy bad.
And then Ben crawls out because he wants the teddy bear, and then it's like, yay, at least for this one moment we're sisters again and everything is normal. And also he represents that like animal instinct where you just can't always fight through to a logical place.
Yeah, just like the blind pain that comes with grieving sometimes. Like it's not, doesn't make sense what he's doing, but that's because he's really upset and he has rabies. And
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, he has rabies.
Which we learn right at the very beginning.
I remember
He
in the
has
theater being like,
rabies.
it's so interesting that they just front load that, and 1/2 second and they go, here's what this movie is about, by the way, rabies.
Yeah, rabies.
well, I feel like for the characters, not that this matters, like I'm happy that they know why he's acting the way that he's acting, and it's not like, otherwise it would be like making this whole other like political like argument being like, see, if you have a chimp in the home, it could be bad and he could go crazy, and they don't know why he's acting that way. That I feel like it changes the story. It's like they know that he is like it's just already lost. They know he's like gone because he's already having the symptom. Once you have symptoms of rabies, like you're fucked. Like you can't, you just are dead. Worst episode of Criminal Minds, the rabies episode. Watch it. Go feel terrible for the rest of the day. Really
And
bad.
here's the thing too. I think the only way to like test for rabies is like they have to like with animals is like they have to decapitate them and like test their brain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Like
In the movie they did a blood test. You can't do a blood test?
Well, we don't know what they did to the mongoose.
Yeah, they just
Oh,
said
it was the mongoose. Sorry, I got confused.
Yeah.
They probably decapitated the mongoose. Go right ahead.
Well, I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
look up what a
maybe
mongoose
they can just
looks
cut
like.
off the top of the skull, and I don't know that they need to separate the head from the body. But yeah, they dissect the
Can
brain.
you believe a mongoose is just a fucking ferret ass thing? I know it's not a ferret, but it looks exactly like a ferret. When you think a mongoose is something else, I don't know. Like when I hear mongoose, I don't even know what I'm picturing in my mind. But now I'm looking at a mongoose, and it looks like a parrot. A ferret. So
No, I
interesting.
think I did know that about mongoose.
Well, I think it's because I looked it up when we watched this movie the first time, so I'm not surprised right now. But I was like, "Isn't that a fucking ferret?" I'm annoyed
I feel like
about
they
it.
fight snakes.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like a thing that I feel like I remember from childhood.
I want to be. Oh my god! I just saw
Yeah,
the most
they fight,
demented picture of a mongoose.
king cobras.
Well, that's
yeah,
sick.
that's
Like,
definitely a fact.
There's a TikTok video of like a king cobra running like on a golf course or something, and you just see like a mongoose in the background, and the king cobra is very stressed.
Look at this
Get him,
wild-eyed
girl.
ass mongoose.
I feel like that might have been something that was just like general internet lore, but I also feel like it could have been related to the wild thornberries potentially. And there was another moment in this movie early on that reminded me of the wild thornberries when they're on the plane and that short guy grabs the teddy bear and is like with the teddy bear.
Okay,
That was giving Donnie from the wild thornberries. So
that was. Remember when we saw that in the theater, and it was the craziest thing I ever seen in my life.
and then the other guy immediately goes, "He's never talked to a real girl before," and it's like that's clear.
That
Yeah.
was a really funny
That actually
response.
came through really clear.
Those guys were great comedic effect in this movie. Like we needed a relief from the relentless terror and like bludgeoning and like smashing and cracking of necks and
Ripping of faces
ripping.
at jaws.
Yeah. Yeah. I also really liked, not to like, I don't know, we're just gonna jump all around. Whatever. I don't fucking care. I liked, even though it was uncomfortable, the like sexual nature of the blonde motherfucker's kill.
Mhm.
Um, because they seemed so predatory
Yeah.
themselves. Like the guy seems so predatory. Sorry, like I don't like want that to happen. We just had a whole conversation about over your dead body. But like I thought it was a funny and interesting and like comeuppance parallel because they had been these like sex pest men who were just like showing up to be like I'll like I don't know, they're just being very disrespectful to the girlies the entire time, and then like Ben fucking lays him out, puts his arms up, like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I want to go back to the rabies conversation at some point, but I do
Oh,
think that
okay,
that is
sorry.
interesting because no, I'm on this now.
But
Because it's both like there's no real fear that he is actually going to be sexually assaulted
Yeah.
because it's a chimp. And it is a
Mm-hmm.
chimp who, though
Ooh,
not
yeah.
behaving rationally, has not, displayed any other symptoms of uncontrollable wild sexual desire at any point or anything like that. So you just know, although it seems like that to the viewer, it seems like that to him in the moment because he makes that joke about like, whoa, take me out to dinner first. It's like
Yeah.
there's no real fear that that's about what you're about to witness on screen.
Yeah.
It feels like there is a small amount of satisfaction in it of seeing a man who is so blasé about stranger danger, I guess, if you will,
mhm.
be put in a position where he realizes, oh, everyone in the world is vulnerable, not just women. Um, just because they're so like fratty. I will
Mm-hmm.
say I don't know that I mean I feel like they're being gross towards the girls, but I also don't feel like they're being predatory necessarily because the girls are like, we're waiting for you to come over here and fuck our brains out, horror mansion. So it's a
Yeah,
give
yeah,
and
yeah.
take for sure. They're matching energy in a way, if you will. But I don't
Totally.
like
But they're
they're
like
they're
little
just
sex
giving like
pests, you know.
disgusting little guys. Yeah, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go upstairs because I bet they're waiting for us in their bedrooms. And he's like, you're the man. This is why I keep you around. It's just like, all right, brothers.
They do a good job of making them like definitely like horny little fuckers, but like non-sinister.
Yeah,
Like
you
they're
don't want
so
them to
ridiculous.
die, but you don't take them seriously.
I kind of wanted the blonde one to die.
It was giving early 2000s frosted tip like
I
in
loved
middle
it.
school.
He
Ugh,
looked like Nicholas Galitzine, but 5'6".
I could see it.
I'm just
He
putting that
looks
on the
really good
record.
in his IMDb picture though. So good for him. Charlie
Nicholas
Man, that's
Galitzine is a
his
very
name.
handsome guy.
Oh, I honestly thought you like spoke French. I when you said his name, I didn't recognize that as a name. I don't know what I thought you said, but it did not register for me at all. Also have the oh, he's in the Watchers. Wow, he looks way different in the Watchers. The Watchers Hive, rise up. Nope, no one here. Okay, cool.
Haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's already infiltrating you. Do you see that? It's working. What I've been trying to do is working. Okay, do you want to talk about rabies more? I
Yeah,
don't
let's
like
go back to
talking about
Yes.
rabies.
rabies.
Yeah, because I think the usage, the contextualization of rabies in this movie is so interesting. Because again, it presents it to that information to the audience first thing immediately. Because the first case
Yeah.
of hydrophobia was recorded in 2300 BC. Animals infected are literally driven crazy by the sight of water. If not treated within 48 hours, there is no cure. Hydrophobia is now more commonly referred to by the Latin word for madness. And then it fades in and it's like rabies. So immediately you as the audience is like, spooky scary because we're familiar with that as a horrifying thing that can happen to animals, that can happen to pets, that can happen to humans, vis-a-vis all these different things. But then we don't get this information until later in the movie. I don't know if I remembered it. I don't know if it was something that I learned from looking at IMDb trivia the first time I saw this movie. But one of the things on IMDb trivia is that it says Hawaii is the only state in the United States that maintains rabies-free status. Like, there is no rabies in Hawaii. And we see that later in the conversation between the dad and the veterinarian, where she's like, the mongoose tested positive for rabies. And he's like, we don't have rabies here. So I think that that is kind of one of those things that allows for this situation to turn out the way that it did, because
Yeah,
you
they
know,
don't. He
somebody
doesn't
else,
think it's possible that it could be
right?
that bad because it literally should be impossible.
Exactly. He's like, it's clearly some sort of infection, and that's concerning, but it's not even on his radar that it could be rabies, because he's like, that there shouldn't be anything on this island that could give Ben rabies. Therefore, although Ben is sick, it's okay to not be that stressed about it, not that worried about it. Just call the vet. It's something else that's going on. And I think it also makes sense that it occurs to the kids first. Because while, I mean, maybe they would know there's no rabies on Hawaii, but I also just think there's this like cultural knowledge of rabies, especially it's been in some big pop culture moments historically.
So scary.
Some wholesome family movies included. Um, and I think it's also one of those things that's kind of like quicksand. You know what I mean? Like, you hear about it so much as a kid that you're like, it's lurking around somewhere, even though adults would maybe rationally, reasonably go, no, it's not. But as a
Quicksand
kid,
was a huge threat growing up. Okay, it
It could
was
happen even right now.
it could happen even right now. But that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's like, it's more on the radar for them because they maybe don't have the knowledge that it should be impossible. It's just one of those things where it's like, I've heard about this. I've heard about this, and I know what rabies is, and he's foaming at the mouth, and he bit me. That means I have rabies now. Like, they jumped to this conclusion way earlier. Granted, they're looking at the ape in front of them who's foaming at the mouth, dad far away. But I think it is just like really interesting context of like why the dad is so non-concerned that he leaves them at home with a sick pet without any sort of overarching treatment plan other than, we'll call the vet. I'm not the expert. Somebody else will deal with this. And also why the kids immediately are able to sort of game plan and go, Ben's gone.
Yeah, because, isn't it Hannah that suggests that it's rabies too? And she's like the most outsider out of all of them. So she's the one who would understand least that Hawaii doesn't have rabies, you know? Wasn't it Hannah? Maybe
she
I was wrong.
was the first one to be like, do y'all not have a gun? And honestly, that was my immediate thing. I was like, none of this would have happened if they had a gun.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
don't bring the can chimps have rabies? I'm looking at my notes now. Because Hannah goes immediately to, do you have a gun? Let's shoot him. That's what you do for sick animals. And she kind of says it in this way where you're supposed to, as the audience, go, oh, she's the bitch. But then she kind
they
of
had
redeems
already
herself later
established
on.
her as the asshole, and then no, she did. I think she had a great redemption arc.
Yes.
She was being brave and bold and helpful and risking her life, and I was like, I like
And
her
she was
now,
being
and
a
she's
good
beautiful.
friend to Kate, too.
Yeah. No, she's a nuanced character for sure. But she's the one that immediately goes to, you shoot sick animals. And in my notes, I was like, but you guys, I know that he has rabies, but you guys don't know that he has rabies yet. But he also hasn't even bit Aaron until a moment after that. And then that's when they start to go, oh, like, don't you wish you had a gun now? And someone, maybe Hannah, maybe Kate goes, can chimps get rabies? And then Aaron asks, if Ben has rabies, does that mean I'm infected too?
Yeah.
So it's like, now that the bite has entered the equation, it's now like, I'm thinking about the realities of infections that can be transmitted from animal bites, blah, 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 blah.
The pool was so 47 meters down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the Titanic vibes too, because they're on the raft.
They all got to be on the float. I'm just saying, Rose and Jack couldn't fit on that float.
Uh-huh.
Proven.
But it was very stressful because they're like stuck at the water is their only safe place. I loved how they used the pool. I really loved how they used the pool. I thought it was used very, very well because it was so stressful. Like seeing Aaron go in that water and then the blood is just pouring the fuck out of her. That was a hot scene. Sorry, but it was not like it was sexy. But I was like,
turned me
Zan.
on that scene.
Oh, I loved all that blood. No, but it was just like that pool, like the cloud of blood
Yeah.
spreading from her leg, the aerial shot. I loved that. I loved when Ben was like using the
String
fairy
lights.
lights above and came down and ripped out Hannah's hair. That shit was
Mhm.
narnar, sicky narnar. And
Sticky
incredible.
narnar, I love.
Yeah, it's gonna be something that I've said 2 times in the last like month, and now it's more and more frequency. We'll see what happens. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, I thought there was a lot of like creative horror here, where like I was like, okay, like good job. You came up with something very spooky, and I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Because it's like the string lights means you can't be like up too high in the
Up.
pool. Maybe you have to be moving around a little bit. You got to keep an eye out. You can't just go like hang
You can't
before they
like
have the
fall
raft. You
asleep.
can't just go hang out on the other side because Ben can come around that way too.
Ugh, and also just like thinking about the realities of like being in a pool like that for so long, like if it's not heated, it's just like you start to get this like chill in the base of your spine, and you're just when you're in the pool for too long and it's starting to get colder and colder. So just like imagining that feeling, and there's no way to get out. Like they try to get the phone, but then the phone goes in the water and then it's not working anymore. Like there's just I don't know. I thought it was all really fun. But I was also just like shocked by who died and when and all
Yeah.
of that. Like they really like set up these like emotional stakes between Lucy and Nick, and you're like rooting for them, and you're like, oh, maybe that might be a thing. At least I was. I was like, that's cute. The like brother thing. She like comes home, whatever. I was thinking of Sarah Dessen books and shit from my past, whatever. Leave me alone. But he was kind of a douchebag right away, so you can't trust him because he was trying to get with Hannah. But so crazy that they punished him by smashing him off a cliff in like the first 15 minutes of the movie. Maybe it was 20 minutes in. That was crazy. I was shocked by that. I could not. I remember in the theater, I was just like, what do you mean? What do you mean he's dead and he's been smashed?
And he's gone.
Yeah, I
They're
don't know
like, get
that
these men out of here. It's Girlie o'clock.
it is
the
it
lady
for sure
show.
Girlie o'clock. And we love Johannes for being like constantly it's Girlie o'clock. But I don't know that I think that he's being punished so much as I do feel it is a
Yeah.
symptom of the patriarchy where he feels like he as the man, as the older brother, as the potential love interest for two girls here because not that he's into Lucy, but Hannah kind of goes, Lucy's into you. And he goes, what? That's like my
That's
little
my
sister,
sister.
which is the most violent thing a man that you have a crush on could say about you.
Yep.
But so now it's like
Yeah.
he's got two little sisters here, three if you count Erin as well, and the girl that he likes. And so he kind of, I feel like, puts himself in a position where he's like, I'm the man that's here. I'm not the man of this house, but I sort of am, and I have to step in and I have to protect them, and I
Well,
have the physical advantage maybe over these other girls, and I'm more familiar with the chimp than like Hannah is, for example.
and
They
they
have the
literally
emotional
said at the
attachment of the
beginning,
sisters.
I'm here to protect them this weekend. He
Yeah.
says that exactly. So sorry, keep
That's like
going. I
he's
just wanted to say
sleeping
that one part.
over.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like it was he is if he's punished for anything, it is for engaging with Ben the most immediately and directly because he's like, let's tie him up, let's push him over the edge. And so he keeps
Yeah.
going out of his way to directly engage the dangerous wild animal that they're dealing with. And I kept expecting Lucy to be like, don't tie him up. I don't think that is a good idea. Chimps are very strong. But they really, I guess, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You have
It
to
helped
try
for 1
something maybe.
second.
So
Yeah.
It does. There's like a pattern where like he's kind of doing this all alone. Know what I mean? Like he's like Lucy's kind of helping, but Ben's the one who's like doing stuff. And if you're alone, you're gonna die.
mm,
If
Yeah.
you stay as a group and work together, you're fine.
Then there's a likelihood of somebody else getting picked up before you because there's a bunch of you. You can't focus just on you. I'm sorry, that was fucked up. But I think that he was being punished because I think Ben, in the last bit of his brain that cares about Lucy, was like, Lucy likes you and you're kissing Hannah. And he saw that and he was like, I'm going to kill you. That's not true, but that's just what I'm saying right now. And the other thing I think is interesting that, like, was the first thing that made me go, huh, about Nick's character, especially in comparison to his sister, Kate. Like, it seems as though they've been like family friends for a billion million years. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like Kate knows sign language and speaks with the dad in sign language and signs to him, and Nick does not know.
He
And
seems
just like,
like he knew, like he might have been bad at like like speaking it, but like he kind
yeah,
of picked up on some of the things that like the dad was saying to him.
he could
yeah,
read
but he's,
when the dad finger signed out his ex-girlfriend's name, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But he doesn't know
Yeah,
how to respond. And so he's not like invested as much into to me
having a
that said
relationship with the
said a
dad.
lot. Spent has not invested as much into like going out of his way to like, try to be able to converse with this really close family friend, this dad, Adam the dad. And then so that also makes me think that he wouldn't be like, which isn't like that, okay, I get learning sign language is hard or whatever, but like seems like a little bit of a lack of respect. Maybe that's too strongly said, but a little bit of a lack of respect there. And then I think it also translated into him having a lack of respect and understanding for Ben too,
Mm,
because
he
Ben
can't
is
communicate with
also a
Ben
part of their
either.
family. He can't communicate with Ben. He doesn't understand Ben because he's not as invested in like the nuance of anything going on here. He's like looking out for number one, which is him, and getting his dick wet with Hannah. And so I was like, oh, maybe he sucks actually. And then his head gets smashed.
And we
Yeah,
got to
I
see
think
it.
it's in many ways just how boys are a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that is also very possibly a symptom of the dead mom in the sense that, like, before there were so many people who could be the go between for him and whoever he needs to be addressing. He's just like one step removed from everybody.
Yeah.
Right, because
Um,
also like maybe his like him and what Kate, their parents, like maybe they do sign also, uh, or something. I don't know.
just now that they have parental relationships, you know how parents become friends sometimes because their friends or their
Mm-hmm.
kids are friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think they're
agree.
like
It's like
all the
Kate
families
has
are friends for sure.
become more meaningfully a regular figure in that household, and then Nick is kind of there as an extension of her. It's like that's Kate's brother and or that's Lucy's crush. That's not like the dad kind of is invested in him because he's like, oh, I know about your girlfriend. But again, that could be a similar thing of like, I know about your girlfriend because my daughter
Because
has a
of,
crush on you.
yeah. Or because Charles, your father. I made up that name. Told me the gossip. um, Something that I want to discuss because it needs to be said is the creature design for Ben, the chimpanzee. I didn't say a slur this time. Um, I just am so obsessed with the fact that this chimpanzee is a man named Miguel Torres Umba in a suit. It is
Yeah.
not, yes, it's being fixed up by CGI and stuff like that, but it is a man. It's a man in there doing man things. And I'm just like, it just adds to this like uncanny nature and makes him so much scarier. And I'm just so glad that they made that choice instead of doing a full CGI thing or something. But it seemed really interesting the way they actually did stuff. Wish I'd listened to another interview just about this specifically, but they talked about it for a second. They had like different like arms that were in like different shapes, so they could get different shapes from him, because obviously Miguel is a man-shaped man, and not a chimp-shaped man. We are very differently shaped than chimpanzees. There's some similarities, but like it's like a mixture of prosthetics, like arms and limbs and stuff like that. Seemed like you had more knowledge about this though, Chelsea.
Well, on IMDb trivia, it said that he is a movement specialist and a Colombian theater actor with no prior film experience, but they used a prosthetic suit created by Millennium FX, and they also had multiple animatronic heads, puppetry for facial expressions, various arm extensions to simulate chimpanzee proportions, specialized feet operated by hand puppeteers, and different
Whoa.
contact lenses to depict different stages of rabies infection.
Wow.
But I really wanted to find like behind the scenes video of him during filming, and I couldn't
Yeah.
find anything. I could only find him doing interviews, which, you know, are interesting in their own right, but I wanted to see what it actually looked like on set, because I know you said they use
How was
CGI
it
to, you know,
upsetting?
kind of go that extra,
Yeah,
complete
like
the
clean
touchdown, if
stuff
you
up.
will.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much he can really be like swinging from a ceiling beam in the background. I don't know. Maybe he does have that kind of upper body strength. More power to him. But I wanted to see more of what. It's so cool to me that they did practical effects like that, and that they were, and I'll get back to this later, inspired by Cujo, the Stephen King movie adaptation. And that both Ben, Miguel Torres Umba as an actor was able to like really bring Ben to life in this way, and that
Mm-hmm.
the other actors, Johnny Sequoia, etc., had something to act against, which gave it a lot more authenticity and a lot more for them as actors to grab onto, and for us as audiences to like
Yeah.
feel more viscerally, to see people actually tussling together instead of whatever the alternative would be, him in a green suit, like how they did Jacob Black on Twilight, where he's just like standing there with his head
Getting
tilted to be
petted.
to be a wolf. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it is so cool that they did that, and I wish that they had given us more of a look into what that process actually was like on set, because I'm so fascinated by that choice. That's what I thought would be the primary driver of our conversation, is that it is
Yeah,
so
there's like
cool that they
nothing.
committed to
Mhm.
doing it practically. But I wish they'd done like a making of or something.
I saw some video that was like behind the scenes, and then it was like behind a paywall, and I couldn't watch it. So I was like,
I
does that
believe that
have
there could
it?
be this out there, but I think if you Google Primate Miguel
Stop. Did
Torres
you see this
Umba
picture?
behind the scenes, something should pop up. You know what I mean?
What
And I just
picture?
got interviews.
Hold on, I'm sending it to you. La, da, 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 la. Look at that.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a great photo. I would have that frame.
Nar. I love it. Yeah, seriously.
Okay, I have a pivot unless somebody had something they
No,
wanted to jump in with.
I'm ready.
Bringing up Cujo though, I do think it was
Ooh.
interesting to watch this movie a second time. I'm not familiar at all with Cujo, but I feel like I was picking up a lot more classic horror references than I did initially. Maybe some of them I should have. I remember in the theater, Monica and I talked about Scream with the car scene with Hannah in the car near the
Yes.
end, because that is
Mm-hmm.
so Sydney in the first movie in the car. Um, I also saw on IMDb trivia today, yes, they referenced the 1983 Cujo version, where they used similar behind the scenes techniques, he was saying, but he also described the character as requiring, quote, almost Freddy Krueger personality traits for Ben, which I don't know that I necessarily picked up on, but I just am mentioning it because
Freddy
I
Krueger attributes for Ben?
That's what
That what you said?
Did he
That's
do
what it said
wiggly
on
arms
IMDb.
like this one time?
Didn't you see when his arms got really long? That's what the
Remember when he
prosthetic
had women's
arm extensions were
breasts
for.
for a second?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yes, I
Well,
do remember
also,
that.
too, the music was kind of giving like Halloween, Michael
That's what I was
Myers
just getting
vibes
to.
too.
Yes, this
I thought
score
the
is
music was
so crazy
giving Goblin.
Halloween.
I don't know. There was one song that I was like, this is giving Goblin from Suspiria vibes for a second. I don't know.
I could see that. Because I tried to look it up to see if anybody else had been like, yeah, they transposed the Halloween or whatever, people say. Whatever that music term is that I am certainly
I
not
feel
an
like that
expert,
might
so
be
I can't
it.
speak to it. I
That
could
could have
be,
been
I
it.
could be a genius. Um, but I found Waxwork Records did a vinyl release for this movie, and it is a really cool design. I'll link it in the episode notes if anybody wants to see their Instagram post about it. But it's called a Pool Water and Gore, is like the name of that pressing. And you can see why when you look at it. But they said, we are loving the electronic score with its throwback vibes to the film scores of John Carpenter and Tangerine Dream. And Tangerine Dream, I looked up to be like, I'm not familiar with that movie. It's not a movie. It's a German electronic group founded in 1967. So I could
Cool.
see Suspiria,
That's my playlist.
Europe, electronic sounding music, Goblin. I could see all of those things being in conversation with each other for sure. But Halloween especially felt so
Yeah.
relevant here because it's both like the score is giving Halloween 100,000%, and also it's like they're literally hiding in the closet the way Lori does, and they're
Yeah,
like being
that's so
stalked by a
true.
relentless
Same type of
killer.
closet too, right?
Yeah, with like the little
Little
shutters.
slat. Yeah.
They're being stalked by a relentless killer who can like not be put off no matter how slowly he moves. He's always coming. It felt
So strong.
very much referential in that way to Michael Myers. And I haven't seen all of the Halloween movies, but I also know that there's a familial connection there. And 2, 3, 4, something in there addresses
I'm not the
what's
one to
going on,
ask
but
on
it's
that
not my
one.
business at this time.
I want to see H2O. I almost watched it the other day, but
I love
instead watched
H2O. It's one of my
Howell Road.
faves.
H2O is relevant because this movie has a pool.
There you go.
There you go.
This is a slight changing of topic, and if we want to go back to music in a second, we can. But I looked up the chimpanzee attack that is like the inspiration. It's the inspiration for this and Nope. It's way more overt in Nope because they literally have like someone in makeup who's supposed to be Charla Nash, or like like someone similar to Charla Nash, but it was this event that happened on February 16th, 2009, and this lady named Charla Nash was brutally mauled by Travis, a 200-pound pet chimpanzee owned by her friend Sandra in Connecticut. And the chimp attacked her after Charlie was trying to lure him back into the house. And he like just absolutely mauled her, like ripped off her whole face. She lost her eyes, severe facial damage, and her hands. And then they killed the chimpanzee. So that was the like incident that was inspiration for both this film and that film. Because they just are really strong, man. They're really fucking strong.
Yeah.
And it is a wild animal. In this case, it's rabies that's causing this situation, but it's a wild animal. Same thing with fucking what were they called? The tiger guys.
Tigers?
Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah.
You know? It's just like it's like I piss off my cat, she fucking mauls me. I'm fine, but I'm pissed off. She scratched my face the other day. We're in a fight. But I'm not gonna fucking die because it's a house cat. It's just like the stakes are higher because it's a big giant beast. So they
They're
have one
large.
bad day. They have one bad attitude moment, which like they are allowed to have because like they are wild animals, and then it fucking wrecks somebody, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that watching this movie. I was like, you'd think they would have some sort of game plan just in case anything ever happened with Ben because of his physical abilities going so far beyond what we can do, anything else. That they don't seem to have any notion of how to handle something like this. Um, and then I think maybe that's because like the mom is not there and she would be the leader on it. And then I also think like, well, dogs maul people too, but my family doesn't have a plan just in case anything ever happened with our dog and he started going crazy, attacking, biting people. So maybe it's just one of those things where you think like it'll never happen to us.
Happen.
It's yeah, this is our pet. Yeah, that would never happen here. So maybe it's just
Yeah.
like it's such a scary thought that it feels so beyond even like engaging with would be to like manifest it in some way. That's not true, obviously. Um, but I can see how it is just like we're not even going there mentally, but still I'm like, you should have like a trank dart or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, as I'm looking it up right now, chimps are like 1.35 to 1.5 times more powerful than humans with like different like tasks and stuff. And they also, the way they're like, they don't have as good of fine motor skills as we do. So when they do stuff, it's like much like
Like brute
stronger.
force.
Brute force, yeah. So like when he's doing the like chest pounding or whatever, we could be like, you know, whatever,
Mhm.
chill. But they're like doing everything every time because they just don't have the ability to like, you know, dial it down.
Moderate.
Moderate, yeah. Crazy. That's scary. I really didn't know that. Even though they're way small, like pretty much smaller, but they can get bigger than us too, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so scary. And like you look at them too long, you get scared because you're like, it's the uncanny valley thing because we are like descendants of similar thing, whatever. I don't know, evolution. Look it up. But like you see part of yourself and you see something completely alien in the same breath. It's like very interesting psychologically. And they are so smart. So they also make it so easy for you to forget that they're a wild animal. And he can say, Ben depressed. Mike,
Right?
what did he say? Nick, bye bye. Nick dead.
Nick
Bye
dead.
bye.
Nick dead. He didn't say Nick bye bye, but that would have been funny.
Baby.
Nikki bye bye.
That is one thing that is wild to me is like they both address how crazy it is that a chimp lives in this household via Hannah, and they even have a secondary moment where Hannah comes across Ben down at the pool and is like scared, and the dad has to step in and be like, "Hey, let me take care of this." And also, he gets a little weird around strangers. To me, it's like if I went to somebody's house, and I discovered that they had a chimpanzee that lived there, I don't know that I would be like, let's stay here all weekend and have a party.
I would not
I
want
think I
to
would
be
need so
there.
much more information. And if I decided to stay, I certainly would not at any point ever be wandering around the property by myself when a chimp has free reign. Even if it were the most tame pet ever in existence, I think I would just be like, I'm scared. And I don't know that animal well yet. Like, you can understand why Kate and Nick are like, we've been coming over here for years. We're having like a fun game. Like Lucy, I think it's Lucy and Kate have that moment where it's like, want to do something fun. Oh, maybe it's Erin actually, because she's like, you're with your friends, and she's like, do you want to do something fun? And then they bring Ben to introduce her to Hannah, or introduce him to Hannah. But um yeah, Hannah as our entry point to somebody who is not used to hanging around with chimps in many ways gets accustomed more quickly than I would expect, and then
Well, isn't
unaccustomed
he
pretty quickly
also
too.
though? Isn't he supposed to be in his enclosure and he's out? He's supposed to be in his enclosure, and they think he's in his enclosure because they put him in there. And Mr. Vet guy was supposed to come, and then
That's
he comes
later
out, and they're
though.
like,
That's like when bad shit starts happening, but when she's like wandering out having a joint because Nick gives her a joint for the jet lag, and she's just, first of all, you don't know these people in their house. You maybe know Lucy, but
She's
now you're like
obviously
smoking a
very
joint. She's
overcomfortable.
like crazy. Yeah, I'm a crazy girl. I do what I want and I have fun. But I was like, that is the dad can't hear you sneaking weed out on the patio, but he can sure smell it, and he comes out like 1 minute later. So I don't know. I thought it was very bold
She's
to be
disrespectful.
wandering around with the joint and then hiding it in a potted plant. When there is a chimp who has free reign of this property.
Could you imagine a chimp high on rabies, just like smoking a J?
I really thought that joint, when I saw her put it in the potted plant, I was like, that must come back at some point. I don't remember how, but it must come back. No,
That
it never does.
Chekhov's joint.
Exactly.
It really is just a reason for her to be outside, I guess, to have that interaction with Ben, and to have some semblance of, yes, he's being weird, but only in a normal way. So we don't have to worry about the first like concerning behavior he displays is around a stranger. So like we don't need to take it that seriously yet. By the time we realize it's an issue, we can just like close him in his enclosure and call the vet and keep it pushing. But
yeah, I get what you were saying earlier that it's like, oh, it's crazy they told us it's rabies right away. But it's I like sometimes when you know the bad thing and you just see people making all these mistakes.
Yeah.
And you're
Right.
like, fuck.
I'm just saying if there were
It's gonna be
free
really
chimp somewhere,
bad.
you could tell me it is the sweetest pet that you feed by hand every day, and I would go, I think I'm going to stay with my friends. I don't think I'm going to wander off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she's a very good guest. Not being very respectful. What else do you have to say?
I read on IMDb trivia that one character originally was going to survive in the script. It said director Johannes Roberts and producers Walter Hamada and John Hodges performed a comprehensive script rewrite 1 week before the commencement of principal photography. This last-minute revision resulted in the death of a character originally scripted to survive. Roberts implemented this change to eliminate perceived, quote, easy ways out for the remaining characters and to demonstrate the futility of their specific defensive strategies against the antagonist, Ben. And I'm curious who that is supposed to be about. I tried to Google it and I didn't. Well, I tried to Google specifically Hannah's supposed to survive Primate, question mark. And that didn't yield any results other than people being like, no, Hannah was always going to die. And I don't know if they're experts who are speaking from a place of knowledge or not. But the only other person I can think of who died, who maybe wouldn't have died in the original script, is the black guy who's friends with the white guy of the two boys that come over, because we don't like get a death scene for him. We just like kind of,
yeah, his death is just totally a distraction for the others to escape. Poor guy.
to just be like, oh my god, one more death. And so
I think it must have been Hannah.
Yeah.
Right? Because it feels I saw some articles that were like, she does everything right. She gets the keys, she gets the phone, she gets in the car, and then there's like this complicating factor. I'm partially like, that is such a good scene and such a referential scene, that it feels like, how could that not have been part of the original plan? But I also feel like, as we've seen in 47 Meters Down Uncaged, he does like to sometimes be like, and one girl's prepared to leave the others to die. Where she would just be like, I'm getting out of here. But I don't know. I'm like, I could see it being that guy, because they're just like, well, he can't get away. So we have to show that fighting against Ben is futile. But I don't know. I don't know who else it could be. So
I feel like it has to be her. Something that we skipped over too is Kate dying.
yeah.
Yeah.
That one like
that hurt.
If I didn't see Nick dying coming, because like, okay, it was early days. Like me see Kate, I did not expect that. It was a family annihilation of that family.
Yeah.
Like brother and sister gone. But like, oh my god, the like it she was so close when she just slipped and then he smashes her head to pieces. I do wish we had seen it more. But I get that it's
Yeah.
hard to make a head and smash it and have it not look like stupid and bad. It's a
Yeah,
harder one.
I think it is tough also because you had so much emotional buildup of Kate and Lucy hiding together in the closet, parentheses, gay.
Uh
Um,
yeah.
and we'll get there.
I was like, okay, one
Um,
love interest is gone. We still have the other one. It's fine.
don't
And then
worry,
they're
we
both
have the
gone.
real, more subtle undercover love interest. But there's so much, and there's so much in that extended chase scene, and that's like one of the best moments of suspense in the movie, where it's like, look over here, no, look over here. They're at the door, looking at each other through the door. Does he know how to work the handle? He's going for the handle. They're kind of wrestling
That was a
with
good
it. He
part.
bursts
Yeah.
through the glass, blah blah. Like there's so much going on there that's good, where they like take turns protecting and defending each other and distracting for each other. And then it's just like not enough. She just like they're
Mm-hmm.
running and you're just it's hard to be fast enough in emergency situations and they're on dangerous terrain and blah 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 blah, it just gets away from them. But it's both one of those things that like feels kind of glossed over and also not, because Lucy has that scene later where she's coming up the steps where she like has that emotional moment. But we also have Hannah before that who like rushes up the steps. And in my notes I was like, why don't I remember in the movie theater being like, is Kate not on the steps anymore? Like what is going on? And then in my notes today I was like, they just like there's no acknowledgement. And I mean, from a meta standpoint, it's because they're saving that moment for Lucy.
Mhm.
But it feels so strange that Hannah is just like rushing past a body
I
of
remember
her
that
best
in the
friend.
theater.
Yeah, and also her gay love interest. And there's just like no, we don't even like see it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if they filmed it and that's what I wrote in my notes. I was like, I wonder if they filmed it and it got cut or if they never even filmed it. But once they get to the Lucy moment later where she like really like sits with it for a second, it's like, well, I could see it never even having made it into the script because they're like, we're preserving this later for our true protagonist whose emotional connections are the ones we're really following. That one over there is almost designed just to have Lucy be like, "Oh no, my crush likes somebody else, and it's the girl who's also kind of stealing my best friend, etc., etc." She takes everything from me.
Everything.
Everything. I didn't even want her here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We sort of talked about this a little bit earlier, but I did really enjoy like the actual like culmination final finale of this movie too. Just like all of the when they really started playing with the like deaf nature of the dad's character and how he's like come home and like slowly is noticing that something is a little bit wrong. Meanwhile, like his daughter is like screaming
In the
bloody murder
back.
for her life, like right upstairs or wherever she is. Like
The
that
shot
was
of him
really well
like
done.
picking up the cold pizza and eating it, as like we see in the background, like the ape swinging, or as we know, like his daughter's being brutalized by Ben, like just out of sight around a corner. I think
Really
that
good.
was like such a perfect
It was,
dichotomy.
yeah, and then like at the end there, when Ben is like wailing on the dad, I was
Mhm.
really like, I was like, they're gonna fucking kill the dad because they've killed everyone else. I was like, they don't care. But I'm glad that, we still got to keep the like family um together and stuff. Like, I just don't need it to go full bleak. Then I feel bad for the rest of the night. And
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to have a nice time. I want them to be able to process their mommy traumy together as a family. Finally, now, with the added slice of Ben tried to kill all of us and killed a lot of people, actually, trauma. They really need to be all three of them together to get through that. So, and I did love. It's annoying how unkillable he was, but I liked that he kept coming back and I liked how dramatic his final thing was. Cuz I also thought it was good too cuz it kind of like paralleled Nick's death where like he faked out Nick and threw Nick over and killed him, but then this time like, the good guy is saved. Sorry, Ben's not a bad guy. He just has rabies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I liked also that it they needed an adult, so I'm so glad that the dad came home. I'm so glad that he realized something was wrong. What I didn't process in the theater, I was like, how far away is he supposed to be that he can just come home? But he's just like somewhere else in Hawaii, presumably even on the same island. He's just like staying at a hotel somewhere was the plan because maybe the movie execs flew in from somewhere else and so they're staying there.
Mhm.
But so he can just come home and it's important to me that he does because he is like the adult who kind of was like everything's fine and I don't need to worry about it. And so this is sort of like a wake up call moment for him as a father with his children who are grieving that he needs to be there, and he comes in with his adult man strength and his like not my children will to defeat the monster, if you will. And I also liked that he didn't have like the final killing blow. It's like it's a little not goofy necessarily. It's a little like obvious, I guess,
Mhm.
that it's like our young female protagonist strikes the killing blow. It can't be the dad who's been off screen for 75% of the movie. That's not satisfying.
Mhm.
But I thought the way that they did it worked where it's like they think the dad has done it. The dad has defeated him enough. They feel like safe in the family embrace only for her to be the only one who's like looking in the right direction to see that he's still coming. And the moment where Ben is like looking across the fire, it's just very cinematic also.
Yeah.
So they did some
What a
fun camera
movie.
work stuff in
Yeah.
this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
He
when Ben
did.
is looking at the water for the first time and it's like, whoa, whoa.
And let's not
That was good.
forget,
Like he's
they're
sick.
afraid of water.
He's
Mm-hmm.
developing his hydrophobia in that moment. He's like, I used to like water. Now I feel fear. Poor Ben.
I do
Poor
think it is
Ben.
so funny that like the final shot of this movie or the final moment of this movie is like Lucy bad one last time as the cops are like playing with the communication board and she's like like terror struck in her heart.
Very
But
silly
that's
ending.
a okay. Yeah, kind of matches what you thought the movie was going to be in that
Yeah.
final moment.
So
Because
funny.
you really didn't think that you were going to see Nick's head crunch into the rocks below on the
Mm.
ocean, just in case you thought maybe he could survive flying off the cliff. No, he got crunched, and we saw it. We saw him get
He
crunched.
got, yeah, it was like, whoosh.
They
Big
did
crunching.
two establishing shots, one of just how high that cliff is, and another of that mechanical crab toy going over the edge.
Exploding. Yep. I
And then they
appreciated that.
went,
They really,
yeah.
I knew the stakes. I
And
didn't,
just in case you thought maybe it'll be different for Nick, no, head first crunch.
head first. And his like long scream all the way down. Iconic. That was like comical. Anyway, I think it's time for our
Sacramento.
all right, it's time to talk about it. How could this movie be gayer?
You don't love Nick. You love Kate. And that's just her brother. So it's the closest thing. And you haven't realized it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
for sure for them too.
Nick would be like way hotter if he was like, I don't know, had longer hair. Have you ever thought that?
It's like I just want to be so close to my best friend Kate, and we're already best friends, and we already have matching best friend necklaces. What is the last remaining thing I could do to be as close to Kate as possible? Oh, I know, marry into her family. But girls can't marry girls. I guess I'll marry her brother. Let me develop a crush on her brother.
Yep.
I also think Hannah knows that Lucy likes Nick, but Hannah would like Lucy. And if she can't get with Lucy, the next best thing is Nick because Lucy wants him.
I think that there's a lot of
Mm.
three-way triangle lesbian drama going on for these girls.
Yes. And
Because it's like
then they're
Hannah
all
and
repressed. None
Kate.
of them know about it.
Yeah, I think Nick says to Hannah, he says, Hannah, right? You're all that Katie speaks about. So it's like Katie likes Hannah. That's the new girl that she's met. She's been best friends with Lucy forever. She's kind of accepted that nothing's happening there with Lucy. She and Lucy are going to be just best friends. She meets this other girl, Hannah. She's like, maybe Hannah and I can have lesbian experiences. Hannah immediately also is like, oh, your brother's hot. She's like, don't say that. And then she has these moments with Lucy in the film, and it's like, I invited this third girl to stay with us, and I didn't mention it until right now because the homoerotic tension between me and my best friend Lucy, it's just too great. I couldn't bear being home alone with her for another summer now that I've had these realizations about myself. I think Katie knows that Katie, whatever, she has come into her queer identity, whether or not she's sharing that with anybody. Lucy hasn't gotten there yet. I think if you'd given them like one more year together at college, either something would have happened or they would have had the sort of Mother Mary friend breakup that never gets addressed ever again.
I gotta bring it back to Mother Mary.
And
Oh
also
my
there's a
God,
moment where Hannah like squeezes past Lucy on the plane and her booty goes like right in front of Lucy and she goes, lucky you. So I'm like, okay, flirting.
Okay. Slay.
It's right there on the page. Should have done this for Pride.
It's leading right in. We're
It
right
is,
on
it
the
is.
cusp.
We're almost there. Okay, any more gay thoughts?
So many more gay thoughts.
Matthew Lillard, where would he go?
I'd like him to just be on the plane, maybe.
I think he would be an amazing veterinarian.
Yeah. I was just looking at my other notes and up here, my discussion questions. I have one that I forgot to pose, which is, did the vet get here late because he ate the gas station sushi last night and was paying for it today, which is what he says when he's like, oh, you're not feeling good. Me either, buddy. And I think that Matthew Lillard could really deliver that line in a way that makes us go, the true villain is gas station sushi.
After all, yeah. Yeah, it really is. It seems like a good idea, but it never is, friends. Let's just keep that in mind. Yeah, I think that's like the perfect place for him. I wouldn't want him anywhere else. If we were doing like backwards in time, though, he would be great as the blonde fuckboy.
Yes. Here's the
He
thing.
would kill.
If we are chill with like age gap things, he could have been a man that she met on the plane and was like, come over and hang out.
She meets a
Just
sexy adult man on the plane, and it's Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey,
What do
He
you
can play
want to
himself.
not
Whore
invite
Matthew Lillard
Matthew
can play
Lillard?
fuck
himself
our
in
brains
this
out."
movie.
So fucking funny. He would have been a great addition.
I also
But-
think he could, if he were the dad's agent who's like, you're not really gonna blow up this deal, are you? He could have brought a little something special sauce to that moment.
That would've been really
where
good.
people would go, wow, what a memorable scene.
Instead, it's a little forgettable. But Matthew Lillard there, whew, powerful stuff.
And what you couldn't tell is he was actually in this movie. It's the scale messed you up because they made the set on a 5 times scale so that he wouldn't seem way bigger. But he's actually, they had a human actor play Ben, and they also had Matthew Lillard play the mongoose.
Wow, yeah, he
of
was so
course.
good as the mongoose. He was so good. He's a chameleon. Well, he's a mongoose, but he's a chameleon. He can really transform into that mongoose, you know? Matthew Lillard, the man you are. Anyway, that brings us to dumb bitch. There's a lot of dumb shit going on right now in general, in the film, but I would say I don't know. The vet was trying to. He didn't know. The vet didn't
Bitch is
know.
the mongoose.
We're getting
The
rabies in the
mongoose
first
didn't
place.
mean to get rabies either. We don't know what happened to the mongoose. We don't know his story.
Okay, but how did the mongoose get rabies if there's no rabies in Hawaii? Is this gonna be like a
Some
The dumb
dumbass
bitch is the fucking
tourist
tourist who brought
Yeah.
that mongoose
Right.
here or let it
smuggled
onto the
something
ship.
in.
yeah?
That
That's
is
it.
who the
That's
true
who
dumb
it
bitch is. But also,
But
let's give
no,
one nom to the white boy who just helps himself into a girl's bed upstairs when he can't find anybody in the household. That seems like a smart choice.
Yeah.
He's Goldilocks, okay?
and he goes or whatever on the plane,
With
and
the
that
teddy
was the
bear.
weirdest.
Yeah.
Like I was like, did he just have an attack? Like what happened there? So funny. You ever think someone's so hot that you start just speaking gibberish to them?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
And then
no,
they
it's
liked
actually
that.
relatable.
They
Yeah,
thought
and
it
then
was
they
weird, but
call
also it
me
worked for
and they
them.
say, come over and
Welcome to the
fuck.
horror
Come over and
Welcome
bank.
to
fuck
Horror
me.
Mansion.
Yeah.
So
Here's
fucking
my
funny.
address.
Yeah. Hi,
Scary.
strangers.
I'm dead.
Not smart. And also, again, the boys, because when they're on the phone with them, they're like, "What's your address?" It's like, actually, I already left you a voicemail with my address. Check your messages.
They're too drunk.
Right.
Okay, that brings us to our knives out of fives. And I just want to know how many Oscar nominations.
Mm-hmm.
12. You wouldn't believe
Whoa.
it.
Wow.
No, we're actually, I don't think this movie has been in the Oscar cycle yet because it only came out in
it came out in
January.
January.
So I think that would be next year's Oscars.
So there's still
I
time.
think there's
There's
still
still
time. It did technically debut in 2025 at I think the Toronto International Film Festival because it
Mhm.
did have one award to its name. But and because at the Toronto After Dark Film Festival, excuse me, not TIFF, sorry. At the Toronto After Dark Film Festival, it won the Audience Award for Best Feature Film. Because some crowds had a lot of fun with it. And if you want to get into the numbers on IMDb, this movie has a 5.8 out of 10. You might be going, that doesn't sound like audiences loved it that much necessarily. Well, let me tell you, on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has 78% fresh from critics and 70% fresh from audiences. So higher numbers over there.
Well, they're right. I love this movie. I honestly really like it. It's really defied all expectations for me in so many different ways. What a nuanced portrayal of grief as a monstrous chimpanzee with rabies, you know? I
love
really
grief
liked
horror.
how I love grief horror. I loved how they're like, let's make grief into a big chimpanzee who's really angry. And I was like, that's so relatable to me, as I said earlier. I had such a good time. The practical effects are so good. The chimp was good. It was stupid, the perfect stupid. It had a bunch of random shit going on, and it was great. I had a great time. I don't know. I'm not gonna give it a 5, but I really liked it a lot. I don't know. What are you guys gonna give it? I don't know what to do. I'm like, a +4 situation is happening somewhere in there. I really like, what would I change? Nothing. It's perfect the way that it is. I don't know. Give me I'm gonna copy you guys, but I won't say anything else. I'll just say something, a number later.
Okay. I'll go because I did think earlier about specifically what number I would give this movie, and I think the number that I landed on was like a 3.8 because 4 felt a little high. You liked it more than I did.
I did.
So
I loved
contextualize
it.
that for you. 4 felt a little bit high to me because the best thing about it is what they're doing with Miguel Torres Umbra playing Ben the chimpanzee. And I really liked what they did with working the dad's deafness into the storyline. I thought that that was super interesting and really well done and well portrayed. But I didn't like really meaningfully connect with any of the characters. It
That's
felt
fair.
like emotionally kind of surface level. And again, it's kind of what we're talking about, where it's like there's a lot there to dig into when you have the puzzle pieces, but the movie just kind of gives you the puzzle pieces instead of putting the puzzle together.
Okay,
Not in
yeah,
a
that's
way where
fair.
I feel like the movie wants me to like think so deeply about grief necessarily, but in a way where it's like they've built the construction so that they can tell the movie that they want to tell. They're not necessarily like telling an emotional journey.
Because
It
it's a
is
creature feature
fun.
at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
at the end of the day, it's a monster movie. It's a lot of fun. I wanted to have more fun in the theater that I did, but it did surprise me. It was gorier than I expected it would be. Um, and there are like lots of fun aspects of it, but I wasn't jazzed. So, and I thought there were lots of moments of dialogue that felt very like first pass, no rewrites.
That's
Especially
fair.
with the
That's fair.
boys. And I can kind of justify that by being like, well, boys are stupid. They don't give that much thought to what they're saying either. But
Fair.
in terms
Those
of a
boys in particular.
script, I wanted a little more from the script, but I do think it's a really interesting, fun, finished product. Just for it to pass the 4 line, I'd want a little more.
I'm kind of right there. This is like a 3.5 for me. One, I'm chimped out, I think. I think I was texting Chelsea. I was like, why are there so many like ape movies recently? We had one,
They're
we
top
did
of
Planet of
mind.
the April, but we did like Nope, there was Nope, there was that like British singing one, there was the one with Theo James, there's this one.
The monkey.
Oh, the monkey.
Yeah, like
And I think it's because the promo for this movie came out around the time that those other movies actually came out, so there was some distance, but they all really rolled into each other.
mhm.
Last year was very ape forward. For
Yeah.
us, especially when we did Planet of the April, but also
Yeah.
for the world.
I was so glad that this came out. I didn't want. Okay, I'm glad it came out in January because it gave me a long time between April and January. But you know how I feel about January movies. Okay, fine. I'm gonna give it a 3.9 because you bullied me down.
I did no such thing. You're welcome to give it a 4.2 if that's
I'm
what's in
giving
your
it a
heart.
Oh my god! Hold on. My cat is attacking my fake bird right now.
Oh no.
My fake bird.
Aw.
Okay, I'm giving it a 4. Actually, I'm giving it a 4.
We
I
bullied you back up.
I just think that it's this is what happens when your expectations are literally 6
Yeah.
feet under. I
Yeah.
was ready for it to be like the shittiest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, that's fine. I just should go into every movie thinking it's going to be bad. But that seems not really my vibe. I don't know.
You have an
Hey.
excitable heart, and I think that that is beautiful. You have endless, boundless hope.
Thank you. I really do. And then it gets dashed again and again. I'm still upset. You know how many times I've had to tell people about my complicated feelings about Hokum in the last week?
Because people
It's
keep
been
asking you, I'm sure.
People keep asking me, and I'm just like, did you like it? Should I see it? Did you like it? Should I see it? And I was like, yes, you should see it. I was disappointed, but I can't tell you why. And I've already seen it twice. People are like, you want to go see it with me? No, I don't. I've already seen it twice.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about it. Anyway, I'm feeling emotions, but
Yeah, that's kind of part of my calculus for this movie is like I haven't really thought about it since it came out until we were like, what's another recent release that we can do
what's a
as a
movie
last
that
minute
exists?
substitution?
Yeah, that people
Um,
can easily watch.
And also, when I looked at it, I was like, we saw this in January. And then when I looked at it on IMDb and it said 2025, I was like, did we see it last January? And that felt possible to me. So it's enjoyable. I think a lot of people would enjoy it, but I'm not out here being like, you have to watch Primate. It's no 47 meters down uncaged.
That's true. But I would say you have to watch Primate when you're really drunk with 5 people. You know
Maybe
what I mean?
in a raucous crowd, it would
Yeah.
bump it up a few points.
This
That
would be
is not
so
the way that I've
fun, like with
experienced it
multiple
so
friends
far.
and snacks and a few brewskis. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think if we watch this in person, it would be very fun.
Yeah, with like a group of friends, drinks, movie supplements, perhaps. Because Monica and I saw it in theaters. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
some degree, it's like, how good can it get? But
It was really good for me.
I think if you're really into a creature feature, the way that this movie approaches the actual structures and principles of filming that, it's a very interesting addition to the genre. However, for me, 3.8.
Fair. Well, that's the end of Primate, but it's the beginning. It's the start of something new. Imagine High School Musical, but it's gay. Oh.
That would
Chelsea,
actually be
take
so
it away.
fun. And we're taking some elements of that for our next movie. We're taking performances, we're taking songs, we are taking production value, and we are putting that all together for a very wonderful film that we did all see in person together in the movie theater, which is so rare for us to get to do.
And it was a double feature.
It was a double feature.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ask us about the other movie. We've covered
What
it
was
already.
the other movie?
It was Shelby Oaks.
Oh.
Ugh.
I like Shelby Oaks. What can I say?
Shelby Oaks, a controversial film. You know, it's not controversial. The movie that we're doing next. It was so fun. And I'm so excited to get into it. It was called Queens of the Dead. We did a trailer reaction to it, I believe. It is from Tina Romero, who is the daughter of George Romero, who did Night of the Living Dead. So that is like a fun little family tie. But it's helping us kick off our Pride lineup this year, and I'm just so excited to revisit it and to share it with everybody now that it is on streaming, because I think it had a very short theatrical run. But yay! Pride is next, and Queens of the Dead is getting us going.
Pride, pride, pride,
Pride, pride, pride, pride, pride, pride, pride. Yay, I'm so excited. One time I talked to Katie O'Brien and I said, I love Queens of the Dead. And she was like, oh, cool.
Oh.
And this is after she said, don't I know you from somewhere? And I was like, all right, I just have gay hair.
You know me from watching your movie.
I just have gay hair, and I've been in another event where you were there. So maybe you
I'm
just
just
for some
around
reason
with gay hair.
remembered
It's fine.
my gay hair. Yeah.
Maybe you saw our
Anyway.
Instagram posts about Love Lies Bleeding. Who can say? We did cosplay.
Oh, yeah. She saw my mullet. Remember my mullet? The mullet that launched 1,000 Chris's to tell me to get a mullet in real life. Shout out to Chris. Anyway, you know what? Why don't you say, great job protecting your peace today, girls, by not doing Undertone when it was going to make you sad and switching to Primate. Thinking on your feet. That's so interesting. We're so excited for you. 5 stars in an Apple Podcast review. Thank you for saying that. That was really nice. It was a hard time trying to decide a new movie in 2 hours. Or just a 5-star rating on Spotify will work as well. But why not follow us on social media? We're at Spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we're at Spooky Tuesday Pod. Check out our website, spookytuesdaypod.com, one-stop shop for everything Spooky Tuesday, including a link to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday. Join us. It's gorgeous. We've got a quarterly vote just around the corner. Make your voice heard and make some gorgeous, gorgeous friends along the way. Come on. You're missing out if you're not in there. And we are also on YouTube. And today we didn't do anything because we didn't know we were going to do this movie. And I do actually have like weird chimp hands that somebody left at my house that they used to be werewolf claws, but I just put them away into a suitcase, and I was unwilling to get them out.
But tell me about your necklace.
Oh, I was like, Hawaii. I'm wearing a halter top for Hawaii, and also
halters for Hawaii.
Halters for Hawaii. It's also orange, which is a Hawaii vibe color. I don't know if you know about that, but it should be obvious. And then I'm wearing a turtle necklace that is made out of abalone shells that I got in Hawaii, that my mommy got me. So suck on that. Follow us on YouTube. Anyway, thank you for listening. Hope you got all your mommy issues out this month.
Because you're not allowed to have them next month. We're moving on. Bye, Spookies.
Yeah, we're moving on. Bye, Spookies.
Compartmentalize that shit. See you next Tuesday.
We're done here.
And no more feelings.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Haidt, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.